Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and today I have something fun for you guys. I got the Yoshino out of a crate last week, and man, is this thing fun. So let's do the build and play guide on it. In a already packed tier of good ships at Legendary Cruisers, this thing kind of stands out, guys. I really like it. For our commander, we are using Hagero. Now, if you have a Taigo, that's perfectly great. If you don't, if you're free to play, Yamato would be a great one as well. And honestly, pretty hard to not build this ship any way that's not productive. This is one of the more universally um, it can be you can use AP or HE in this, and I'll explain here in a second. So, for inspirations, Nikolai Kuzganov, Mbeli, and Beyond Range for our skills, Igniter, Hellfire, Fixated. Now, on this ship, I probably would recommend fully packed, but because this is what I use on a lot of my fire starter builds, I use refill station to get that reload down. That is 100% up to you because it has a decent heal too. So, one thing we're going to take a look at really quick here on the overview. It has superior AP pen. You can, in fact, use AP. In fact, I'm gonna have a game where not this video, but probably the next one, where I use mostly AP, and it does pretty darn well with AP too, which catches you kind of off guard. And the HE and Pyromania above fire setting capability. So honestly, I feel like it's in its best form in HE, but I'm a guy that likes AP as well. So you could do either or with it, guys. But you guys, if you guys have watched me at all, you guys know that I switch ammo types a lot normally. In the video, you guys are going to see it happens a little bit less, but normally in Japanese cruisers, this will be the first video you guys see out of a Japanese cruiser. Well, I don't think I citadeled something, I think. But anyway, here for your upgrades, aiming systems mod 1, propulsion mod 2, concealment is always in mod 3, and for 4, I did take the main battery reload. And for the last slot, it is a actual upgrade, and what it does is it makes your torpedoes a little bit slower and makes the range much longer on them. I think they go from 12 or 13 to 20, and I highly recommend it. These torpedoes will and can catch people off guard because you're just not expecting torpedoes from 20 kilometers away, especially if somebody's chasing you. You do have 2 sonars. Not the best sonars in the world, and you do have seaplanes, spotter planes, or catapult fighters. Now, this is up to you on what one you decide. I was kind of torn with it. I don't see as many carriers at legendary tier, so honestly, the spotter plane was a little bit of a help. Also, it does have 3 heals, and like I said, if you take fully packed, it gets better. And honestly, it's a good heal for Japanese, especially a cruiser. Japanese don't have the world's best heals, so not bad at all. Survivability, 61,000 health. Now that's more than like say Alaska, but it's not as tanky, guys. This is kind of a super cruiser, but it's not quite as tanky. You'll see that here in a second. For your guns, you do have 9 310, so they're definitely bigger than your average 180s. Now, these 12.2-inch guns here, they are actually pretty solid. They have a 14-second reload time for a heavy cruiser, not terrible, and the 180 time on them is atrocious. That's the one thing I will say. You don't, and I show it in this match because I thought this was a good match, kind of showcase a lot of stuff about this ship. The 180 time, not good. So I'm a person that sometimes likes to back up with cruisers, and this is a tough one for it because if you switch sides of your guns, you're gonna wait a little bit, and that's okay if you're aware of it. HE damage, You can see it's 5,400 with a 30.9% chance to start fires. And your AP shell damage, you do have that extra penetration. It is 8,600. Now, as a rule of thumb, how I play, normally if I see a ship and the HE damage is over half of the AP, generally I use more HE than I do AP. Every circumstance is different, but as a rule of thumb, that's generally how I go. For torpedoes, it has 16 of the 610. So these are the pretty solid hard hitting ones. They're not Shima torps. They're not hit that hard hitting, but they're very hard hitting. Still, they are slow at 62 knots, but decent. AA defense, it seems pretty good. I haven't really had a lot of issues with it yet, but you know, having AA is always a good thing. Maneuverability, the turning circle is not great on this thing. Everything else not terrible. The rudder shift's slow, but it's a super cruiser, so you're bound to have that. It's a long, skinny ship, so you're gonna have the big turning radius and a maximum speed at 34. Not super fast, but not end of the world. Trust me, this thing, when you're firing the guns in it, it's definitely not a crew. It doesn't feel necessarily like a cruiser or a battleship. It definitely feels more like a cruiser to me. It is a super cruiser, obviously, but you don't want to be taking hits in it. But it also has the turning capabilities of not a light cruiser or something to that effect. Concealment 11.2. Not overly amazing for a cruiser, but for a super cruiser, not terrible. Stats. This is going to make you guys laugh hysterically, okay? I only have a 50% win rate in this thing. It's not to ship, and to be honest with you, it's not even me, because the more I play this, the more comfortable I feel. And I'm telling you, very soon here, I'm sure I'm going to have a 300K game in this thing. This is going to be the ship that is going to be well over 300K. This probably will set my new max damage. And I never said that before lately about a ship, but this thing's DPM is absolutely ungodly if you let it go to town. So battles played 8. I've only won 4, but like I said, that's not really on me. In fact, I've even survived almost half my battles, which for me, pretty good. I'm a pretty aggressive player. Main gun accuracy, 41%, solid. Torpedo accuracy, it's 3, but I'm literally throwing out torpedoes every time I get a chance. Now, these are the stats, and this is why I wanted to show this page. Just in first using this ship in only 8 matches. Now, it's 8, so I'm getting a decent read on it. I had one match where I obviously wanted to test out the armor on it and stuff, and I got more aggressive. I died pretty quickly, guys. Okay, outside of that one match where I basically did no damage, I am averaging very well on this thing. I would say my actual average is probably closer to 145, 150. Take out that game of me being dumb. And average XP and only a 50% win rate at 2,000. Not bad at all. That's pretty high for a 50% win rate. And also potential damage 1.3 million. I mean, that's even solid for me in a battleship. So I am taking a lot of attention away, and I'm doing a significant amount of damage with this ship, guys. I Them numbers would be very good on a battleship. Now they're not as good as my BA Montana because that thing is crazy, but pretty darn good, pretty close to it. And still, even a week later or whatever, I think I only have one loss in the BA Montana. That thing is just absolutely crazy. For armor, this is what you guys are working with here. Now, this is torpedo protection on the side, so you do have some more armor under it. You can angle, guys, to stuff, but I would not rely on it, okay? You're going to see why in a second here. Let's do our armor, or our bow and stern. You can see that is 25, so that means anything bigger than 14-inch guns will overmatch you. Ask me how I know. I didn't see the armor on this thing until I played it. So you're going to see in this match, this I believe was my first match ever in it. And I test out bow tanking. So we'll take all this off, and you are going to see that giant citadel. Now, it's not right at the very edge of the ship, but that is a big citadel. It's out of the water. Sure, I guess it's technically has a little bit of a turtleback to it, but oh, do not trust that. This thing, in my opinion, is I call it the Maniac Mayoko because this thing plays a lot like Mayoko in some ways, the way I play it. And again, you want to take everybody's attention, but you don't want to get hit. As we start the match, it's disclaimer time. This is a beginner's video meant to help people new to the ship or new to the game. This is not meant for professional gamers that know everything there is to know about everything in the universe. There are multiple ways to play and build this ship, and I am an above average player, not the world's best. I make mistakes. You may see one in this match. You didn't come here for pronunciations. I'm as good as anybody at slaughtering beautiful languages all the time. With that out of the way, we are on Atlantic, and you can see this thing doesn't have terrible torp angles. One thing I will note is your one set has a front firing direction. As you can see, we let it go. And the rear set has more of a rear firing direction. But all in all, to have 16 torps that go 20 kilometers, actually kind of an interesting thing. A lot of times on cruisers, I don't get overly hyped up about having torps. But these ones at 20 knots, I've had a few matches where all of a sudden you're playing and torps that you sent out 3 hours ago, 5 matches ago, off of, a haven, have now hit somebody on the Atlantic. It's just the way it ends up. They're not fast. And they have a long distance to travel, so you just want to keep putting them out when you can. Now, if I know I'm getting charged, a lot of times I'll kind of hang on to them, but for the most part, I'll just keep throwing them out as we go ahead and await. The last thing you want to do in this, and I can assure you this, is be overly aggressive in the ship. If you are the easiest target for everybody, trust me, they will shoot you. I had a match where I probably lasted, I would say maybe all of 7 seconds after I got spotted being dumb. And I deserved every bit of it. But I did not realize that many people had that shot on me when I did it. But you got to learn. I'm an aggressive player. And then I get a lot of, normally I have one match where I get real stupid in a ship right very early on, just to take it to the limits. It's one thing I've always done. Is we're gonna see Montana. I know I'm gonna get spotted here. There's, obviously there's a destroyer in the cap. It's going off, so we're gonna go ahead and have that happen. So we hit 5 pens on Montana. He does slow down. This Montana's not gonna like me a whole lot. This one in particular. And to be honest, I don't even know if he hits me this match, but you're going to see I just move back and forth a little bit. Now I mix up what I'm doing because you don't want to do the same thing every time. You will get absolutely pummeled if someone figures it out and they're a good player. But right here, I move forward, I slowed down. Obviously, Montana thought I was going to keep going forward and completely misses me altogether. We're going to go ahead and back up for a little bit because we want to annoy the crap out of these guys. Des Moines is way too far away to do anything to me. I am not terrified at Des Moines at all. If you're in a Des Moines and you're trying to hit a cruiser at 19 kilometers away, I'm sorry, that's not the most effective way to play that ship. Now, granted, it's a Des Moines, so you don't want to get hit in it, but honestly, you probably should find some closer up island cover or something. Now, this ship here, again, it can take hits, and you can eagle with it, but man, if you can avoid getting hit in it, that's the way to go. And we're going to go ahead and give Montana some more fires here. And you see Shimakaze's there, and whenever I see my favorite thing, and I say it every time, my favorite thing is hunting destroyers. That's what I do. And doesn't matter what ship I'm in, cap control and getting rid of destroyers always my probably biggest priorities. 9 times out of 10, whoever has more destroyers at the end of the match is going to win it. And or whoever loses destroyers early on is the one, early on is going to play a huge difference in the game. So now this one here, Shimakaze gets away. I did get a couple shells on him, but at 12 kilometers, I'm just looking to help out. I'm probably not going to deb strike him, obviously, at 12 kilometers. Obviously, we have kind of scared off everybody on our side, and we're going to stay here, but you can see I'm going to switch my guns over to the left, or to my right side of the ship, as we're backing up, and you can see how long this takes. Even the back turret takes a while. We're going to take a shot at Shimakaze. It's 15 kilometers away. I just wanted to shoot at him to help out. Obviously, he had a whole year to go ahead and stop for that, but he does end up dying. As you can see, they did lose the first cruiser, or destroyer. And honestly, we're gonna go ahead and focus on Schrader. The reason I'm not too worried about the seaside, where I spawned, honestly, there's 3 guys over there. These guys are getting overwhelmed over here, and that's the one thing I'm going to try to help before we don't have teammates. And you can see I'm kind of fighting a little bit of a losing battle. I joined a little bit late over here. You can see it. We're 6 minutes in. I haven't done a significantly large amount of damage. 44,000, not like awful, but it's nothing, not great. And you're going to see I'm going to go ahead and just keep backing up here. And Montana decides to come back. And this poor guy, man. We're just going to be so annoying to him. And he's going to do whatever he can to try to get rid of us. Now, I didn't realize that he was backing up here, I think. And I think I take a pretty poor shot. No, I did hit him with 4. But he's going to go ahead. And he's going to assume that I was going to just stop like I had before. I don't. I just keep going. And he misses. Again, if you're not predictable in a cruiser, you can be very hard to hit. Now, this guy for the whole match kept putting out 1 fires, and not ideal if you're in a battleship. I did it to him earlier right off the start. If you have 1 fire on you, especially when you get above tier 5 and higher, do not put it out. Now, you can see there has been a new friend that has decided to join our battle. And I got to be real careful. The A side is completely lost. That's why I'm not giving ground. I want to try to help over to that side. The only really guy left over there is the destroyer, as the battleship's completely running away. But we're going to grab this Montana's attention. And this Montana's going to be a little bit better player here. We're going to go ahead and shoot him. You can see we didn't get a fire. And with 9 shells going down range at 30% fire, what does that tell you? That tells you he's probably on a damage con, and it's American damage con, so it takes a while. You can see we didn't get one on the second set either, so pretty much can be assured that we're on a damage con. Or he was just damage conning something, I would think. But we're going to go ahead. We get hit with 2 fires right off the bat. I wait a second because I know another round is coming in. Then I hit I do in fact hit the my damage control. And we go dark here for a second just to cool off some time so I don't start off a fire. But then we have a broadside Montana, and he's not on fire any longer, so we're going to go have to do it. Now, we're a little bit too broadside here to Des Moines, so we're going to try to get angled to it. Also, you can see, again, I just change up what I'm doing. I quit driving backwards. Montana misses me. The other Montana misses me. Des Moines is missing me. There's not a whole lot of good coming out of that for them guys. And we put a double fire on Montana. And you can see here, he clearly was on a damage con because now that's a permanent fire. Also, I see battleships over here. I'm trying to limit to who can shoot me, because if these guys over here take a shot at me, we're in a match that we could easily lose. We're losing points. Now, granted, we have 2 destroyers, but that's only because we helped, partly a little bit helped get rid of the one. Destroyers obviously are important, and you can see your ship outturns your guns on this, by the way. And we're just gonna throw some more torps out because we have them, but you can see that back firing set does not have the best, or the back. It does, the back set can shoot back pretty well, but not forward very well. Even though you have 2 torp set, they don't have the same firing angle. It's something a little bit different as we take a shot at the chef one. But honestly, I didn't realize he was stopping, so it was a pretty poor shot. We're gonna go ahead and take another shot, realizing that he likes to stop and start. And we are gonna go ahead and try to get him. Now we have again Des Moines trying to be annoying. Not doing a super great job out of it. I felt like Des Moines could have spent his time elsewhere probably and been more productive. It's not like there isn't a battleship coming around the corner to him up there on the map. And more of a threat than a cruiser angled away, not firing at you. So we're going to go ahead, put out that fire because we're far enough from Shefflin. He's not going to put us on fire no more. Also, Des Moines is far enough away now where he's not really a worrisome threat. And Conqueror is now going for the B cap. I see this, and you can see that I instantly make a change of plan. We are going, cap control is most important. I let the destroyer know, hey, could use some spotting when you get a chance, and I will, in fact, get rid of him. Or attempt to, anyway. And you can see all of a sudden we've turned the table. We have a much better match going on. And this is only like 4 or 5 minutes later that we got 100,000 damage in. And their gearing gets a spot for us. We're going to go ahead and just... I didn't aim too particularly well because I just want to get the cap reset on it. We're losing the caps right now. Now our one destroyer is doing a very good job getting A. This destroyer's helping spot the Conqueror, and we get our Wither, which, by the way, is very common in this ship and not hard to get at all. And we're going to go ahead and shoot the other Montana. So we've had the regular Montana basically annoyed by us the entire match, and he's been trying to hit us. And we have the BA Montana, which, again, has had a rough time trying to hit us. As you can see, there is, in fact, the BA Montana. There's the Conqueror. We're going to go ahead and try to get rid of this Conqueror here. We did have a fire on him, and we're going to go ahead and try to get another one. I know it's a Conqueror that can heal, but at this point in the match, they're generally out of heals, or they don't have much, much to actually stop my fires with. As you can see, we get a double fire on him, and it is a permanent double fire as we also get our high caliber. And we are going to go ahead and keep moving up. We're going to try to make sure nobody takes this base away. At this point, the BA Montana is running away. Oh, and I actually had that wrong. So we're going to get into another conflict with the original Montana over here, and you're going to see this one is going to go a little bit differently because I did not look at my armor scheme. This was, I'm pretty sure, my first match in this thing, and we're going to go ahead and we're slowing down. We're trying to use the island as cover, and this is the daily dumb moment of today. I could have just stayed behind these islands and had no problem. All right, but at this point in the match now, there's only 2 minutes left. They're not going to be able to kill our entire team. And we have a 200-point lead. So I'm a little bit less concerned. Now, I guess we could still lose it, but I am being careful, and I'm still trying to be behind these islands. And you can see I'm not moving up too far here. I'm trying actually just to keep unspotted, and we're going to go ahead and just make sure that we're keeping Montana hit. And we're going to go ahead and try to get that perma-fire on Montana. Now, I shoot here thinking he's behind the mountains. Didn't realize I'd snuck out and Des Moines is there. Or Des Moines is there. I don't know why I keep adding S today's video on that. But anyway, we're going to go ahead. We stop. We see Des Moines shooting. Now, I think I'm angled pretty well to Montana. In fact, in reality, he could overmatch my bow, and he took a very nice shot through the front of my bow. Kudos to him. I annoyed him long enough. I'm pretty sure he's glad that he got the revenge for it. You cannot bow tank in this, and I had no choice because Des Moines was shooting AP. I had to stay angled. I switched to AP, assuming that Des Moines was going to make a crazy turn based off his playstyle in this game, but he didn't. To his credit, he stayed pretty angled, and I couldn't citadel the crap out of him and murder him. And that Montana had a good shot through my bow again. But by this point, you can see we've already clearly won the match. Not really worried as we get 200,000, but most importantly, we helped our team. We stopped people getting the B capped. We stopped people getting the C cap over there as well. Having a solid game. 2,000 damage, not a bad, terrible damage number, but not super important. Mostly helping our team win. And having a solid game, almost 3K base. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time, folks. Have a good one.